Alumni are not just graduates, they are the ambassadors of their alma mater, the custodians of institutional pride, and the torchbearers of a shared heritage. They carry within themselves the memory, the friendships, and the lessons that shape their lives, forever linked to the institution that nurtured their growth. A very good morning, everyone. This is Ayushi Panchal, one of the Alumni and Corporate Relations Committee coordinators for the final year MBA batch at IIT Kanpur. I'm honored to have the opportunity and immense pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to all of you to this esteemed alumni connection hosted by the collaborative efforts of the Alumni and Corporate Relations Committee and Admissions Committee, the Department of Industrial Management and Engineering, IIT Kanpur. Now, without any delay, allow me to introduce our esteemed panel for today. First and foremost, we are thrilled to have the distinguished presence of Professor Srijit today, who graduated from our institute in 2004. Professor Srijit holds a bachelor's degree in electrical and electronics engineering from NIT Calicut, and then he went on to earn an MBA from IIT Kanpur. Currently, he serves as an assistant professor in the Department of Management Studies, Central University, Kerala. In addition, he specializing in business statistics, quantitative techniques, and marketing research. With over 18 years of experience in corporate, academic, and research fields, Professor Srijit has been associated with renowned organizations such as Ingersoll Rand, the Nielsen Company, IIM Raipur, and State Bank of India. Thanks a lot, sir, for your gracious presence today. We are overjoyed to have you with us.
Thank you, Ayushi. Happy to be here.
Next up, we have Ms. Tanvi Jain, an alumnus of 2017-19 batch, who currently holds the position of a data science consultant in global strategy and consulting AI at Accenture Strategy. Expertise in strategy and marketing analytics, Ms. Tanvi brings a wealth of experience in utilizing diverse data sources and machine learning algorithms to solve intricate business challenges. Ms. Tanvi's core competencies encompass solution design, product development, business development, client engagement, and consulting. Ms. Tanvi also served as the coordinator of Alumni and Corporate Relations Committee and show manager Antaragri in 2018, event PR and media cell coordinator Prabandhan 2017 during her tenure at the MBA program of IIT Kanpur. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you, ma'am. Your presence here today is highly valued.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We also have with us today Mr. Rishabh Gupta, a 2017-19 batch alumnus, currently serving as the Director of Operations and Mentor of Token Economics at TDFI. Mr. Rishabh possesses a wealth of experience in the crypto markets spanning over 6 years. He is actively engaged with over 100 startups, guiding them in the design of viable token economics and forging strategic partnership across the industry. During his stint at IIT Kanpur, Mr. Rishabh held multiple roles, including coordinator of the Alumni and Corporate Relations Committee, leader of the Finance Club, and member of MBA Admissions Committee as well. Thanks a lot for your presence, sir. We are honored to have you us today.
Yeah, just a clarification. I was a part of only corporate relations team and not the alumni relations team. Back then, it was a two different setups. So just to be factually correct, but otherwise, it's a pleasure to be here. And certainly, in 4 years of time, from that side of the table to this side of the table, the journey has been amazing. And it's great to share this with the upcoming batch.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Finally, we have with us Ms. Komal, an alumnus of the 2017-19 batch at IIT Kanpur, who currently holds a position of Management Consulting Senior Analyst at Accenture Strategy. Her current role involves working as a solutions consultant, focusing on modernizing order fulfillment in an omni-channel warehouse. She specializes in leveraging automation solution orchestrated by AI-driven software that dynamically operate together in a demand-driven delivery system. During her time at IIT Kanpur, Ms. Komal also served as a student placement coordinator. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your benign presence. We are honored to have you with us today.
Thank you, Aishi. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be there for my alma mater.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, without any further delay, I would like to request Mr. Rishabh to kindly kickstart the session. Over to you, sir.
Great. So, hi everyone. I don't know whether you guys are allowed to speak during the session or not, but I'm sure you're allowed to raise your hands. So, it's first of all welcome. I would like to, on behalf of the MBA IIT Kanpur and all the alumni, I would like to welcome you all to this esteemed institution. I think I'll not go that formal way where I'll have to talk about what it means to be and all of that, but I'll quickly jump up to the point where it mattered to me when I was on that side of the table. When I was on that side of the table back 6 years ago, the first question that always used to, I was curious about and used to strike me was how would the 2 years be? Because you guys are, some of you are coming fresh out of colleges, some of you have been working for a couple of years and then now aiming to step up in your ladder of your profession and your career, and you're taking this step and to as a milestone in your professional journey. So first of all, let me give you a one line summary. The experience at IIT Kanpur would be fantastic, would be nothing less than that. When I look back, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, when I joined, actually it was the same month, and we were there meeting the alumni in respective cities. Back then, it used to happen in person, offline events happening in different cities. But back when we used to, when 6 years ago when we were there, we always used to ask them, so do you think this would be worth it? And this was the question that always used to strike me as before I joined college. And I think with all the confidence I can say yes, it would be worth it. Absolutely better than the any other college in India, I can certainly say with all that confidence. While you might be worried, you might have questions around the tags, you might be have questions around, oh, we are not in the top 10 business schools, we're not in the top 20, top 100 business schools per se. But let me tell you what the experience at IIT Kanpur is certainly in the top ones. You get to meet the technocrats and you get to meet the management professors. You get to meet the blend of these two sectors, which is the need of the hour today. If you look at you look at AI, you look at blockchain, you look at data science. All of these are emerging technologies. All of these are game-changing technologies that has been shaping the way operations and the companies work and operate. I mean, I'm sure, Philip Kotler can certainly give you a guidelines of marketing 101, but with the present emerging technologies, there has to be a blend of a technical mind that needs to shape that whole experience and whole learning. And IIT Kanpur provides that with all its throughout the campus, be it professors, be the competitions. Because when you participate in the case study competitions, you're not just dealing with MBA grads, you're not just dealing with management professionals, you're dealing with technical guys. You're dealing with people who are maybe computer science engineering graduates or fourth year graduates, coming up with a solution that you would never even imagine, because you're not from that field, or you're not that from sector. So I think from that perspective, your experience would be amazing. You would learn a lot, and we are blessed to we were blessed to be a part of the campus. It is one of the most beautiful campus I've seen around the world. I've been to many universities, be it Dubai, India, Europe, Singapore, but I've not seen as beautiful as a campus like IIT Kanpur. And I'm sure you will have great experience. I think I would let, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or if you want, I can take up those questions and along with the fellow panelists.
Okay, so I would like, so this is Tanvi this side. I would like to add some points to what Rishabh said. So what Rishabh said was absolutely, like, I agree with all the points that he's mentioned. There is a concept in the industry like techno managers, where some of you have also written in the question answers, like, will there be an issue if we are not from technical background and we are opting for any analytics kind of role after MBA? So what I would like to mention is there is certainly an edge to this. Like, you will be having an edge if you have a technical background, but don't worry, you will catch up. That's not an issue. So this is one point. And the second point is that there is a need, like there is a need of a blend, like technology plus management. So this is what IIT Kanpur offers. And you are at the right place if you are looking for both of this.
In addition to that, I think from my experience, I always wanted to be techno manager in a techno managerial role itself. For me, it was never a pure management role. It has to be a mix of amalgamation of technical and management consulting sort of role. And this is what I perfectly got in IIT. The professors that we have like the professors from core technical fields, as well as professors dealing with purely managerial field. And then during our case studies that we perform during the various events and events that are being hosted in IIT Kanpur, so you get to mix both of them. And Rishabh rightly mentioned that you always have a fresh perspective from the students who are coming from the learnings of the recent technologies in every field. So you always have the students, from the BTech background, even from arts background as well, and you are basically competing with all of them together. So that's a very I would say that's a very accentuating experience that way.
Professor Sirijit, if you would like to share your thoughts as well.
So you're audible? Yeah, okay. At the outset, let me congratulate all of you, all the incoming students, for taking this wonderful decision to join the Institute of Technology Kanpur. As the previous speakers have already said, it's one of the finest places that you can get higher education in this country. The campus, it's one of the most vibrant campuses. I presume you have not been to the campus yet. I'm under the impression that you've not yet visited. You're sitting at homes and taking this online session. Can somebody clarify that?
Yes.
The students, okay, fine, yeah. So you're going to be amazed and thrilled about the campus when you are actually there in person. It's one of the finest campuses in the country. And in the next few weeks, you're going to begin a 22-month journey. Perhaps the best 22 months of your life you're going to spend in IIT Kanpur. You wouldn't realize it when you're there. When you look back a couple of years later, or 3 years later, or 5 years later, that reality will dawn upon you. So congratulations for taking this wonderful decision to sort of apply for this program, and congratulations again for getting selected into the program. That is the first thing I want to see. What IIT Kanpur does is, you should already be aware of this. You as a person, okay, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you think, the way you analyze is actually basically the average of the 5 people that you most interact with. Right? This is true for everything that you do. The way you dress, the way you cut your hair, the way you look at life, the way you walk, the way you communicate, the way you talk, including your accents. It's all because you talk to people who are similar, or you pick up the accent of the people that you interact with constantly. Or you think about your ambitions get limited to the extent of the average of the 5 people that you most interact with. So if all your friends want to be a software engineer, very likely you will lean in that direction. If all your friends want to be into data analytics, very likely you will lean in that direction. If you are a little excited about research, if you want to go to United States and to pursue research, and if you interact with people like that for 6, 8 months, automatically you will get tuned in that direction. So to cut the long story short, IIT Kanpur is going to give you this amazing opportunity to raise your average. It's going to take you to a place which is going to give you amazing opportunities. Okay, so please actively involve yourself in club activities, cultural activities, sporting activity. Don't just get confined to the books and the academic curriculum. It is, of course, going to be a little rigorous. You're going to be stressed a little bit. But yes, I'm seeing somebody raise their hands. If you have questions, I'm welcome to be, I'm okay to be interrupted. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask. I can see somebody raising the hand.
I think I would just like to emphasize a little more on what he said about don't get confined. This is one of the questions in the sheet that was shared with us, was about what are some of the challenges you faced during your time at IIT Kanpur. And I'll be very honest, I want to be transparent here. One of the challenges was that when I went to this campus, the first thing that get as a culture is studies, academics. But believe me, guys, if you really want to excel in what you've started pursuing, which is the management side of a company, with management consulting, management, maybe the executive, the CEOs, whatever, studies, academics is important, but not as important as your overall development. So one of the challenges that I faced was a lot of focus was being laid on academics. Students were fighting for the 9 pointers, 8 pointers, and so on and so forth, and a lot of things were dependent on that. And hence, it was more about studies and academics, while a little less about the overall development. And that was not because of the camp college; it was because of the student mindset itself when they enter, right? And being a small batch of 50 students, the number of opinions were limited, and it was confined to this. So one thing that you should decide and you should definitely do when you go to this campus is don't confine yourself with academics. It is just 5% of your overall journey from now onwards. The 95% of the journey would be exposure, would be networking, would be interactions, and would be getting work done in different diverse fields and in diverse environments in in a variety of with a variety of people. So club activities, events engagement, be it Antaragini, be it the Tech Kriti, be it the different clubs, finance clubs and other clubs, go and participate there, create new strategies, think of new strategies for its development, be a part of their overall core team, and get yourself application, apply what you learn in classes on ground. I think that way you would come out to be a really strong as a manager or a managerial position after 2 years. So there are some questions. I'll let everyone take it if you would like to. The first question is, which technical skills do we need to learn as a prerequisite before coming to campus? Anyone would like to take it?
Okay.
Yes, I can answer that. So basically, the answer is like a little informal. So what I will suggest is please prepare a mindset and just empty it from anything that you think is like you have to study this or that before going to MBA. Just clear your mind up, just be relaxed and come with a mindset to think that these next 2 years will be the amazing 2 years where you will get to shape you as an overall person, not just like in academics or in any other thing. So you will find that you will be grooming yourself overall, like in communications, in studies, in interactions, or be it like extracurricular. I can say that some of you might feel that you are lagging behind in extracurriculars, but what I would suggest is please participate in each and everything. Academics, it's not just everything. Just try to involve in each and everything, because what you will get from here is you will get the good exposure, and that you can certainly apply in the coming years after joining companies after MBA. So communication is the key. Please be clear in your communications and try to groom yourself overall, not just in studies. So just clear your mind up and come with a very, very empty mind, and you will, I can promise, you will go back with the bag full.
I would like to
Thanks,
add,
Tanvi.
Tanvi, actually. So, of course, come with a fresh perspective. You should be prepared to learn what comes your way. right? It's not something that in particular that you have to prepare yourself while before joining the college, but it's like you should be open to learn everything that comes your way, be it new technologies, be it new be it something different from your current field of study, I would say. So I basically used before IIT Kanpur, I basically had a mechanical engineering. I was like working for a completely pure mechanical firm in operations and project management and everything. So from my perspective, I think I was a little lagging from a finance perspective. So I gave myself, a brush up of, okay, what are the finance 101 skills? Okay. Similarly, you should evaluate yourself as to what your current field is. You would always be aware of the topics there, but when it comes to the college life, you will not only be focused upon your current field, but also the rest of the fields. And those would be some mandatory, courses as well that you will have to go through. So brush yourself up with, marketing 101s, finance 101s, and stuff like this. So that would, prepare yourself to be ready for what comes next.
Okay.
Okay, I have this feeling that I'm seeing a lot of questions on the chat box. I would rather that the students ask these questions individually, right? So I think Ayushi, maybe you should allow the students to speak. Let them sort of pick up the microphone and then ask the questions, and maybe we should respond to that. Okay. Now Rishabh was actually sort of interrupting. I mean, not like saying that he did the wrong thing, but Rishabh was interrupting when I spoke. I spoke about how it's going to improve.
So that would be absolutely.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to just talk further about it. So it's going to be average of 5 people. And what the institute is going to do is it's going to give you this opportunity to improve that average. So from whichever college you were, so you would notice that 2 years you spent in Kanpur, and that average would have dramatically improved. Okay, so that's this. Kanpur is going to give you an amazing platform in the next 22 months of your life. Okay, that's the first thing. Tanvi's already spoken about it, touched upon it. Improve your communication skills, the ability to communicate effectively, written, spoken, accent free. It's really, really important. Okay, so you can go a little easy on your grades. I would personally encourage you not to spend so much time worrying about the grades. Of course, you have to clear your papers and all of that, but don't obsess too excuse me, obsess too much about the grades. Okay, try to ensure that you communicate well, written, spoken, accent-wise, vocabulary, and all of that. Work on those, because those are more important than your particular grade in a particular course, right? So you're going to realize it in the months and years after you leave the institute. So perhaps I'm just going a little. I'm sorry. I think I suppose I'm talking about things which you're going to realize later, but and also understand that if you're not going for a doctoral degree, this is the last time you're going to be in a university campus or university campus to study that is, right? So understand this is your last opportunity to better yourself, particularly in this particular discipline. I think Tanvi did speak about it. Enjoy your stay in the campus. Most of us, I think 2 years after I left the campus in 2004, I mean, after spending 2 years there. So one of the greatest regrets all of us had was that we perhaps enjoyed or utilized only 20% of the facilities that the campus provided, because so many things happen there simultaneously in terms of cultural activities, sporting activities, extracurricular activities of also. I mean, around, I suppose when I was there were 3,000 students on the campus. Now I suppose it's easily around 8,000 or 9,000. So the number of activities, club activities, and all of that, a myriad number of things happen there simultaneously. So you should not concentrate too much on the grades and your classwork and all of that. So take out time to understand, explore the campus, and be part of everything that the campus, beautiful campus offers. So that is what I really wanted to say. I mean, I'm very likely I'll come and take some sessions for the students, perhaps 6 months from now. So all the lectures I would reserve for that later day, and I would sort of encourage you to ask questions directly rather than just type them in the chat box.
We have a few questions, sir. I think they've raised their hands.
Encourage them to ask. Yeah, I would like to hear.
Akash, please go ahead, unmute, and you can ask a question.
Hello, everyone. I am Akash. Actually, sir, and ma'am, I am very interested in analytics and product management and also finance. So could you guide me what can I do apart from academics to gain competencies in these fields, which would also help me realize which one is the best for me, streamline into that and be industry ready 2 years from now, along with academics in the college, also in maybe semester gaps, and maybe we have a 1 month time right now at hand. So what can be done to best utilize these times?
Great question. I think quite real question. And it's a very simple answer. You have 4 semesters. Go for 4 different internships or go for case studies. We're living in very fortunate times because we have a lot of startups, and startup founders are very approachable. You don't have to write emails that you would get reply after 2 months from the CEO of a Tata Group or the CEO of Reliance Group. You have a lot of startups that have recently raised funds and that needs help. Believe me, I'm working with all these startups, and I can tell you with this is one of the communication gap that on the students feel that what if I reach out and they don't reply? Do they even need me? Am I worth? Do I deserve to be there? Do I deserve to do this case study? On the corporate side, the founders are looking out for people like yourself. They always come to me and say, Rishabh, could you please connect us to some college students who could, help us finish this case study or help us work on this experiment or pilot that we are doing. So go to these founders, directly message them on LinkedIn, tell them that you want to work on a product management case study. You want to work, you can do this. You have these skills, and they'll hire you. I mean, hire you as a remote part-time work intern with them, where you are contributing as much as your time allows, as much as your courses allow. But that way, explore all the 3 fields: analytics, product management, and finance, and you would know which is the most suitable field for you. Where do you think yourself as the right fitment? And that also answers another question that was raised in the box about coming from a mechanical engineering background. Whatever background you had, that was, up till now. Now you're getting into a different zone where your previous background or education would just help to lay the foundation, but you can certainly switch from here onwards. You can certainly take a leap where you just go and do some case studies, go for some internships, remote internships, and you would know what are you good at in the next 1.5 years before you start your journey. I hope
Thank
that
you, sir.
answers.
Just a follow-up question on this same line. So do you think like doing courses on Udemy or Coursera and doing professional certifications actually help us to gives us a starting point? Let's say if I'm talking about product management or analytics using Python. So would those be a good starting point before we can actually approach any founders for real life case studies and all?
I would rather give 2 answers here. One off the board here, which you can ask me on LinkedIn, and my answer would be no, it's not required. But just to be more, because I know direction is important as a student, so I can tell you, yes, take up a couple of courses, but don't make it a sequential approach where you are completing a course now and then going for the internship. As soon as you are ready, you're done with your present organization. I'm sure most of you must be serving a notice period as well. So as soon as you are done with that, straight away go to the founders and talk to them and say, we want to do this. On the sideline, start working on those courses. We used to do that on the weekends, sitting in that CCD at IIT Kanpur, used to finish those courses, sitting straight for 6 hours, 8 hours. Not the best approach, but that's my personal experience. So don't wait, make it as a sequential process.
Thanks a lot.
Okay,
That
so I would like to add on to some of the points. So first of all, whichever background you guys have, please try to explore in the first semester itself. So you will be having courses from all the fields like operations, marketing, and finance and HR. So basically, try to find out your interest in the first semester itself. So at the end of first semester, I guess most of you guys will be very clear like what you want to pursue next, like what field you want to major in. So try to explore this irrespective of your backgrounds. Like I respect your choices, like you already must have made your mind, some of you, but then try to explore. One point. Next point is certifications really helps, because in my earlier organizations, they actually paid us to do certifications. So in industries, these certifications actually matters. So I would like to suggest that in the free time you can take up these courses, and these certainly helps, at least in your uh, at least in your curriculum also. This will also help. I myself did many courses in the free time, and also what Rishabh said was also good. Like you can also opt for internships, you can go for startups. That will give you a real time experience. But in case if some of you are not getting that experience, then go for the certifications for sure. That will help.
And to addition to Rishabh, what Rishabh said earlier, don't wait for the courses to be completed to approach the companies. You can always approach startups on LinkedIn, but I would also like to add that you can also leverage the entrepreneurship cell in IIT Kanpur itself. You will find so many, I would say, entrepreneurs working there itself. So you can also support them directly, communicate with them within the campus itself. That will give you, I would say, enhanced experience rather than working remotely for some of the companies. So that is one thing that you can leverage further.
The short answer is yes, you should do all the online courses, as many as you can, and in fields that are of interest to you.
Great. Next questions, please.
I guess
Hello, sir.
Hemant can, yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is Hemant this side. Actually, Rishabh sir have already addressed my question, but I want to add up a question to that only. So I see in your profile that you are manager in operations. So I wanted to ask what are the roles and responsibilities you handle in your day-to-day career life, and what are the working conditions or privileges being in operations?
So there's a difference between my understanding of operations back when I was in college, and probably I was lame, so I didn't know the difference precisely, and the role I am, I am handling now. So the present role that I'm handling is the process management, efficiency management of the team, finance operations, which is the as an incubator, as a startup as a venture capitalist firm, VC firm that where we are investing in startups. So there are a lot of processes involved where you are working with these startups. So managing all those operations, ensuring that these operations are being check marked day in and day out with all the startups without a failure. Then following Kaizen, which is continual improvement. This is one thing that I learned at IIT Kanpur, where you have to continuously improve your processes and operations every day. While when I was at the college, my understanding of operations was more towards the industry operations side, right, where you were which is supply chain operations, right? So that was the understanding. So when I'm trying to understand your question in a little more broader perspective, that when you say operations, it essentially means that there are processes involved in any company, in any industry, and ensuring that these processes are happening without a failure and are improving every day is what operations means. Now, this could be financial operations, this could be supply chain operations, this could be data analytics operations as well. So that is what the role entails for me, and the experience is good. It requires you to be more hands-on. It requires you to be more closer to the team. So I am, even when I had a team of 3 people, now I have a team of 100 people. So be it 3 or be it 100, I have to be closer to each one of them. So you'll have to create structures where the last person is still feels connected to the organization. So and it involves everything, from marketing, from strategy, from consulting. It requires all aspects of your MBA course. I hope that answers.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone? Next question, please.
Hello, sir and ma'am.
Uh, can you please raise
Just
your
a
hand?
small
And, yeah.
Just a small request. Please don't address me as sir. I am good to go with Rishabh, please. Thank you.
Okay. My question is, apart from interest, how should we consider the aspects of present time industry scenario to choose it, which can help us to grow faster in industry?
Anyone got the question? Please feel free to answer. But I think I didn't hear it.
Can you please repeat your question once?
Yes. My question is that, as everyone said, that choosing a domain specialization is based on interest. But my question is that, apart from our interest, how should we consider the aspects of present time industry scenario to choose the specialization so that we can help grow faster?
Okay. Anyone like to take it?
Who was the speaker? Who asked this question?
I'm Nidhi.
Nidhi, okay. What is your background? Tell me a little about yourself.
I did my graduation in electrical engineering. After that, I worked as a maintenance engineer in a thermal power plant on contract basis for almost 4 years.
Okay.
So I am confused how to choose it so that I can grow faster.
So you have a bachelor's degree in electrical
Yes.
engineering. I'm presuming you're good with statistics.
A little bit.
Okay. So if not, you will have to work a little on that. Okay. Analytics is a fancy term. Essentially, it's all about sound understanding of statistics. Okay, so this also should answer some of you who were like a little apprehensive of what you should do before coming for the course. So if you could brush up on your basics of statistics, that's going to help. Okay, so analytics builds upon your understanding of statistics in a large way. So if you're really jittery and nervous about what you should be doing from now till your course begins, perhaps you should go through basic books on statistics and answering your question specifically about job prospects. I mean, the future, as in the future job industry is going to be looking for people with good understanding of statistics plus. So statistics plus is what I'm calling analytics here. Okay, so analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, and this is where the demand is. Okay, so industry would want people who got understanding of this. So again, at the risk of repetition, let me again tell you this: it is statistics plus.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you. I have a slightly different opinion that I would like to share. First of all, I do agree that the future is AI, statistics, data analytics, and statistics is the base of all of it. So brushing up your statistical concept would take you a long way. This is what I learned during the last few years while working, that pick up any industry. Okay, let's pick up OpenAI, right? That is core ML, AI, building AI applications. But even for that product, the developer, the development team, the product team is dependent on the marketing team to take that product out to the public. Which means if you know your basic marketing skills or communication skills, communication doesn't only means verbal communication. When I say communication, it means if you're able to communicate to the public directly, to the clientele, then you can go to any industry and you would be required there. You have to be, but obviously to analyze the results in a very brief, even in a brief manner, you can pick up Google Analytics or whatever. You would still need to have a basic understanding of statistics. But to answer your question, Nidhi, don't worry about which field, what industries are emerging to pick up a field. Pick up a field based on what you do the best, what you like doing it day in and day out. And every industry has an application of that. And I can, take almost 3 hours to explain with examples, but I would like to limit myself with this itself, that every industry has an application of whatever you like to do.
Okay.
So Nitendra,
Nitendra, you can go ahead. Your mic and ask the question.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Since I do have an experience in marketing as a field, and I'm a little bit inclined towards taking marketing as majors, could you please help me understand, like, how well would the curriculum serve me when it comes to marketing? Also, how do we relate the technical skills that we're talking about as of now with the marketing as a field? Because as far as I know, marketing is more of how the market performs and how well do we communicate with the customer. So if you could please help me out with that.
Anyone would like to take it?
I haven't quite understood what you wanted to ask. I said, what is it? I mean, you're going to have, if you're going to go opt for marketing as a major, you're going to have courses based on that. So what is the exact question?
Sir, I want to ask, like, how well the IIT Kanpur curriculum would serve me when it comes to taking marketing as the majors. And how do we relate the modern day technologies with marketing as a field?
See, marketing is one of those evergreen disciplines. Okay, so for everything, any product or service out there has to be marketed, it has to be sold. And that's how the revenue comes in for any organization. So marketing is always going to be a requirement as long as you want to sell something, right? As per the, I mean, you're talking about the syllabus is robust enough. It's going to teach you everything. I mean, see, the other thing I want to tell you is this. So people worry so much about the syllabus. So please understand, the standard book of marketing is written by Philip Kotler. Philip Kotler is an American gentleman. He is 95 plus years old. Okay. All the business schools, 1,500 business schools in this country, they follow that particular text. It's a standard textbook for all the universities, not only in India, all over the world, right? It's not so much what is in the textbook, what is going to change you, or like say for instance, you know, everyone is going to use standard textbooks for supply chain management, for finance and marketing, and so on and so forth. So there's nothing unique or special about the curriculum or the coursework which is offered at IIT Kanpur. It is the same as what is offered in IIM Ahmedabad, more or less, plus or minus 10% deviation. It is same that is offered in IIM Bangalore, what is offered in IIT Kharagpur, offered in, let's say, any of the foreign universities. So don't stress and worry too much about what is there in the syllabus.
Absolutely.
So your job is to go and, you know, enjoy the next 22 months, like, you know, better yourself with each passing day, learn something new every day, and appreciate, you know, the new things which are going to come your way. So don't like stress too much about what's going to happen 5 years from now, 3 years from now. So relax, you're in good hands, you're going to enjoy experience.
Absolutely. Just make sure of one thing, that when you take up these courses, you have a lot of case studies and a lot of projects. Don't go around your batch to fill those Google forms to analyze the data. You know, go out, feel like a marketer. Don't consider that as just a part of your course to complete to get a grade or an A+ grade. Think of it like a real problem, and go out of your way probably to do that market research. Any hands-on experience that you get during these 2 years would be really, really helpful. And any tools when you're doing your market. One good thing about marketing courses at IIT Kanpur is that you get to learn a lot about the marketing research tools, which is analyzing the data, the marketing data that you collect, so that you can take the right decisions of the strategies, which campaign should be running, which campaign should be halted, where should you spend more money. Learn some Google Analytics courses, learn some performance marketing, take some performance marketing courses from the college itself, and talk to the professors. They can definitely include those courses if there is enough interest from the batch. So focus on these courses and real applications than just finishing up your syllabus.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That answers my questions really well. Thank you.
Adding one more point. So there is one very good thing about IIT Kanpur is when you take up projects, even professors help you a lot, and they encourage you to go outside the campus and research various things. It's not just limited to the campus. I myself, or in our batch also, what we used to do was whenever we got a project or a topic, we used to go out of the campus, search for some industries, go there and learn about all the aspects of a organization, like how they work, how they research, how they make their product, how they sell their product. We ourselves did this thing. Like this was a very good part, and we used to learn a lot from these things, because these are on-field things, and you get to learn a lot apart from all the bookish things that you got to learn. So try to search for the projects in which you can get a real-time experience, like going to a industry and then learn about all the aspects.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Karthikeyan, you can go ahead. Karthikeyan, please unmute and ask a question.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Sorry, sir. I'm kind of outside at an event. So my question is that, like, my area of interest is marketing and operations. And since IIT Kanpur highlights analytics and like I heard it's a part of the curriculum, I'm a fresher to analytics. Like I don't know anything about it. So like, is there something to learn before starting the course? And like, is there any skill set I require before starting learning analytics?
Again, analytics is the future. Okay,
yes.
So essentially, the IIT Kanpur MBA program is reinventing itself to make sure that it's future ready. It's going to help you guys to find jobs easily after you're done with the program. And having an understanding of analytics is important for you. Let's say, for instance, 20 years ago, if you knew how to code, you could get into the IT industry. That's not anymore, because the IT industry has grown, saturated. Some would argue it's in decline, right?
Yes.
So now the analytics thing is what's going to sort of generate jobs in the decades, if not decades, at least next decade.
Yes, it is the
future.
future.
Answering one of your previous classmates, analytics is essentially at its core, it's statistics plus.
Okay.
So what I would urge you and encourage you to do is brush up, your concepts and understanding of statistics. Okay. So don't worry too much about, let's say, a particular, R plus or whatever, and because R plus is only a tool to use your understanding of statistics. Okay. So any of these fancy terms which you hear, like, let's say R plus, pandas, and all of that. So all of those things actually built on your understanding of statistics.
All right.
Right. So
yeah, I agree. I agree with Srijit sir.
Just one more doubt.
Because I myself in this core industry.
Yeah. And is it
so I am also from marketing.
Karthikeyan, allow Tanvi to speak. I think she's making a point. Yeah. Karthikeyan, just hold. Yeah. Tanvi is adding something. Yeah. Go ahead. Next class 4.
Okay, so what I was telling was that I myself from analytics and marketing industry core. So what I would suggest is, Shrijit sir is saying it very correctly. Just brush up your statistics skills. Everything is statistics plus in analytics if you see this as your future. And I myself started when I got in the very first company after MBA. The base was really statistics heavy. So in the initial first year, what we were doing was we were actually brushing up all the statistics skills, all the analytics related topics. And then after 1 year, we were confident that yes, we can do projects on these. So just if you think that analytics, you want to be in analytics, or so analytics is actually related to all the domains, like in operations also, in finance also, in marketing also. So this will help you in all the fields if you want. So just focus on your statistics skills and clear your concepts.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Aditya, you may unmute your mic and please ask a question. Aditya, please unmute your mic. You can ask a question.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead.
So actually, my question was that, the curriculum of IIT Kanpur is based on analytics part only, or like every domain has some analytics part, I understand. So I will have to get analytics into in depth of analytics more for every role, for every part, or should I be learning more of some operations thing or some finance thing also, or just it will be only of analytics part? That's what my question was.
Seems like everyone is a little confused with the word analytics and with the course it entails. Guys, understand this very in simple words. Analytics is applicable in every field. When we say when you hear the word analytics, doesn't means getting into the coding immediately, getting into Python or getting into writing long piece of code. I mean, I haven't written a piece of code for last 4 years since I graduated from college. I'm still working, right? So I'm sure Tanvi is writing. Tanvi is into pure data scientist role, so she might be writing, but and the rest can speak for them. But analytics, when we say analytics, it simply means that you should have a skill set or an approach or an attitude to analyze something. Now, that analysis is important because we are living in a data centric world. When we are living in a data centric world, it is important for us to take data based decisions. Now, the database decisions could be, take example of processes. There are hundreds of data entries you get, right? And then you have to find out, okay, which is the right SOP for this process. And to make that SOP, you will have to analyze the data. Now, you can use a programming language to do that. You can use simple Excel tools. You can simply use pivot tables, or you can simply just look at the data and analyze it. Or if you take an example of finance, when you have to select which, I'm taking my own example, which startup to invest in. So when we have to deploy capital, the first thing that we look at is, okay, these are the emerging technologies or emerging sectors. There are 200 startups in this sector. Now I have to find out the information about each of them. And then based on that, I'll take a look at it, use some Excel tools to filter out things. And then I have a filtered criteria based on which I select 10 startups out of 200. Now you call this analytics? Yes, it is analytics. But do I have to learn the coding language to do this? No. But do I have to understanding of statistics? Yes. So don't think about analytics being that you'll be told to code day in and day out in the college campus. It won't be the case. And I'm sure Professor Srijit can add a lot to it. He's much more experienced in this field than myself. So he can add his thoughts.
So yeah, you can definitely pursue your core field interests like without coding also. It's not necessary that you have to code day in day out. It's just that like you have to be very clear about, even if you are in operations or finance or for that matters marketing. So everyone will ask for your opinion. So what you will do, you will go back and search for things, right? So in that case, basically what will come into the picture is your analyzing skills, and that can be anything. Like it completely depends on you, like how you want to analyze things. So right now, if I share my experience, yes, I code. I code a lot, but then even in some of my projects without coding, I can tell what is there, and that comes purely with the experience. So it depends on you, like how you want to analyze things. It's not just coding. So don't just get confused, like if we are actually saying that it's a techno manager kind of a program, but then don't be very stressed upon the technical thing. It's like you can explore your interest, like do it in any other form, not just coding. So don't get very stressed upon that. You can definitely get into the core operations role. That's really fine. Like some of our alumni are there in very core industries like FMCG industries, and I'm sure that they're not coding. They are using the their core skills.
Absolutely.
I think there is a lot of confusion about analytics with relation to the business tools that are being used. So, for example, R, Python, Power BI, and all these analytics tools. You don't have to focus on the tools right now, I would say. You just have to be prepared that you can use those whenever there is a problem statement that requires usage of that tool. So coming from a supply chain and operations background and, doing solving the business problems project to project, I would say from an analytics perspective, you first have to understand the problem statement well and how you can come up with the solution with using the proper tools required to solve that problem is what is important, rather than focusing on, okay, I should learn R right away or I should learn Python right away. That is not important. You have to focus on the basics of what is required so that you can arrive at a solution to the problem that you're currently facing.
All right, Dhruv, you can unmute and ask a question.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Dhruv. So I wanted to ask the panelists, like, how did your time at IIT Kanpur shape your career choices? That's one. And like, what were the experiences that led you to choose what you're currently doing? Or like, what are your plans for the future as well?
Seems like the tables have turned. Now we are the ones being interviewed.
No, not
Okay.
that. But like, because whatever trends you are going to follow, those are going to be the future, right? So that's why I asked that question.
Okay. Tanvi, Komal, would you like to take it?
Okay. Shaping my career perspective, I think there was a inherent, I'm going to speak for my experience, I would say, there was an inherent techno-managerial role which I always wanted to have. And from that perspective, I went on to learn, the courses that are relevant to that. Okay. From there, of course, there's a communication part, there is a presentations part, and how you're able to essentially solve the industry problems. So I went on to work on a number of projects. I even work with some of the professors to get to the real life problems that the industry is actually facing. And Kanpur being one of the industrial areas, I would say you'll find a lot of industries that you can directly go into, approach them directly, and they'll I would say they'll give you problems that you might not have the solution right away, but you'll have to think about it. So from that perspective, the overall experience at IIT Kanpur made me prepare for what I was aspiring for, to be a consultant. So from that perspective, I think I am currently, ready for any project that comes my way, understanding those problems and then coming up with the solution. You have to define your path, and I know it's not easy. You'll not be able to define it in the very first month or something, but within the first semester, and by the end of first semester or second semester earlier, you'll be able to see what interests you and where do you see yourself next.
Okay,
Thanks.
Raj, you may unmute and go ahead.
Firstly, was your question answered? The previous guy, forgot his name, Dhruv. Was your question answered?
Yes.
Or were you satisfied? Okay, fine. Let's go ahead.
Hello everyone, I am Raj Lad. So my question is basically to Tanvi Jain, because I am also interested in data science. So I want to ask you, Tanvi, that what is your specific role in your company? Because as a data science, I am interested in that, and I know that we have to prepare some algorithm, data algorithm, AI algorithms. So what are your roles that means you are mainly focused on technical side or what? That is my question.
So it's a mix. Initially, when I was in the earlier company, it was mostly like a technical role, but then mixing it with like analyzing the data. First of all, what happens is you get to write the code and everything to analyze the data. And then you have to basically, what comes in the picture is your consulting skills, or what I would say analyzing skills. So you analyze the results, what you get from what you have written, and then you discuss it with your higher team, and then present the solution to the clients. So basically it's a cycle. First of all, you get the data, you analyze it, you apply your technical skills first, and then after technical skills, you present it to the client. So there comes the communication part. So it's a mix, technical plus managerial.
So what should I focus in my these 2 years? I am also interested in the same field.
Okay, so you can focus on both. Definitely, you can take some courses online if you feel that you're not very confident about your coding, or coding is like not there. So what in my experience, coding is two things, like coding as a engineer and coding as a data science professional. It's a very two different things. Coding as an engineer is something basically you have to be into very much into the coding, but being a data science professional, it's like a basic understanding of a few languages will help. It's not like a core coding part. Okay, so just try to take up some courses online, and then that will be enough, I guess. And there are some things that you get to learn on the job. So don't worry, even if you are not into like what the company asks, you can definitely learn it on the job. That there is always a scope.
Okay, thank you.
So it's just that to get into the thing, you have to be a bit, you have to be a bit on all the sides.
Okay,
I hope
thank
that
you.
answers your question, Raj.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Samarth, you can unmute and ask a question, please.
Hello, everyone. Samarth this side. Yeah, half of my question is already answered, but to add a follow-up question, my especially question to Komal, like I am interested in analytics field because I'm from a coding background, but yeah, I want interested in marketing field also. I want to explore more marketing roles in the industries. So as you mentioned, like we can follow case studies, we can do projects. So if I want to explore more on marketing roles, which suit me and I want to take my path in that, so what are the steps you follow to shape that?
I think from a marketing perspective, of course, your basics related to statistics and how you can approach the market is what makes, I would say, what makes the basics of how you can be a marketer. Apart from that, we had a concept of live projects during our time. And of course, I mean, I was in the placement committee. So during that time, we had approached a number of companies where they always used to come up with the, requirements for, okay, we want to have students work for us. And then we'll, so that we can provide them with the current problems that we are facing. It used to be from every field of areas. From a marketing side, yes, currently, if you will see, you'll find a lot of problems related to, I would say, social media marketing and so on. So you can always approach startups by yourself, LinkedIn or anything. You can always approach your professors to get to give you problems that are currently prevailing in the company. And of course, from a professor perspective, I think they are already working on a lot of problem statements. There would be a team from MTech, BTechs that are already working on to solve the current market problems, which you can, go ahead to, I would say, work on those issues. And that would, I think, that would be more helpful than, just sticking to the curriculum and just sticking to the online courses. Does that answer your question?
Thanks, Komal. Just a follow-up question in that, like you mentioned, live projects which we can follow. Like you mentioned a specific type of role, like we want to explore on social media marketing type of role. We want to make our part towards that and want to explore more on different types of marketing role based on marketing analytics or a core marketing roles. So any other things which we can follow? If we want to make a choice, if we want to follow that particular type of role and to explore that.
I just feel that you should not be worrying about narrowing your path down. I, frankly, when I also started, there was a concept in my mind that, okay, this is my area of interest and this is what you should also be ready to broaden your horizon, I would say. Don't just focus from the beginning that, okay, no, this is what I want to do. Try to explore more. And from a marketing perspective, I would say we have very good faculties in IIT Kanpur, and they would discuss with them. They are always available to, for discussions. Discuss with them what are the roles that are prevailing in the industry. You can always reach out to your alumni team as well, and they can connect you with the people, your alma mater who are currently working with those roles. You can always.
So please explore every first semester and you will get your answer. If you're feeling that you have no directions as of now in your mind, then just go with the flow during the first semester, and I think you will get your answer by end of the semester, that like what you want to pursue.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Next.
Yes, Rishika, you can please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My question is on the same lines, but I just want to clarify that as analytics at IIT Kanpur is very popular in the industry as well as the student groups. So I would like to know what about the marketing or HR? How are these majors perceived at the industry? Also, along with that, I want to ask that would it be a better choice, because I have just worked as in a technical background. I don't have any MBA background as of now. So would it be a wiser choice to take up marketing or HR along with an elective in analytics and work like that way in a blended way, or would it be better to major only like in core analytics? Because that is my question. Right?
I think this question has been answered, Rishika, already, but quickly in 2 lines, summarize it for you. Analytics doesn't exist in the silo. It's an application. It's a tool. It's not an application, but it's a tool, right? It cannot exist in silo. I'm not sure when you guys say analytics, what does it mean? Rishika, could you please answer this? Like, what do you mean when you say just analytics?
What is my idea is, I'm sure it's very limited, but we might get a problem statement, or there is a specific scenario that we might have to work on, and probably using, as we've discussed before, the many tools to come to like a solution or an approach to work towards solution. Maybe that.
Yeah. So where is this problem statement coming from?
It can be from anywhere, like it could be a marketing problem. It could be something how to deal with like an HR issue or something.
Thank you. I think you answered the question on
Yeah,
your
I
own,
got
right?
it. Yeah. Yes, I got it.
Yeah, I think we can move ahead then.
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Yes,
So
Hello.
my question was that I have already done several NPTEL courses. So do NPTEL courses have a market recognition?
In this field, like in this world era where everything is available online, recognition of a course is the least problem or least concern you should have. The question should be, have you learned the right, have you got the right knowledge or the right tools from NPTEL? If the answer is yes, then I think you're good. If you haven't, then you can take up other courses. Recognition of a course on a resume is really not something that you should be focusing on or prioritizing on. You should be your skills would be speaking more about you now. We are in a very dynamically changing world. We are in a very small world where everyone is approachable now. So your resume is the last thing that people would be wanting to see with, not the last, but the second and third thing. The first would be your skills and your experience of working in a certain sector or a certain field.
Adding
So,
on,
sir, yes, ma'am, please.
if you'll get on in any interview, you would have done interviews before, you would have interviews in future. They'll not ask you about what your courses you have done. They'll ask you about what experience you have learned. What if you had worked on any project or any company before, they'll ask you what did you learn from the experience, what problem did you solve, how did you approach that. That is what you should be focused on, rather than, I would say, the market recognition of the course. Courses are always available. It's only about the applicability of that learnings into the industry.
And also, do the market treat to freshers and the experienced differently?
Yes, our answer is yes. Definitely experience helps you a lot. And there are some roles where experience is required. So I won't lie to you, but the only way you can cover it up is by learning more skills and doing more case studies and internships during our MBA period. You have 2 years of time every trimester, every 3 months, 3 to 4 months. You should work on one or the other project with some or the other startups. That way, you will be able to cover up your experience. But still, there would be a requirement. There are a lot of companies do need some experienced people for some roles.
So I'd like to pitch in.
Sorry.
Who asked this question? This particular question of experience?
Hemant.
Yes, Hemant. Are you a fresher?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first thing you need to understand is an organization gives you. Okay. I'm audible. Actually, I'm trying to connect using a cell phone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are clearly audible.
So I'm trying to tell you that an organization picks you as an employee if you are going to add value to that organization. Okay, it's not because they like your face, it's not because they like any other factor about you, it's only because you will be able to bring value to that organization. So it doesn't matter if you work for 36 months prior, 18 months prior, 6 months prior, or you're just out of college. If you have skill sets in you which that organization is looking for, and if they think that you're going to bring value to them, you are in. Okay, so why is it that I think I missed so many questions, but I suppose there are a lot of questions asked, a lot of apprehensions about what is analytics and all of that stuff. So please understand, IIT Kanpur MBA program is focusing on analytics because that is what the industry wants. And it's okay not to know everything about the program before you begin, because what are you going to do in the next 22 months if you knew everything about analytics, if you knew everything about marketing, if you knew everything about, all the coursework? You're going to learn a lot of things in the next 4 semesters that you're going to spend in the campus, right? So allow that learning process to happen, over the next 2 years. So don't get too jittery about what's going to happen in 2027, 2026, or whenever you're going to graduate, right? So only thing is, I've been saying this earlier also, don't be so much enamored or worried or hassled by this term analytics. It is statistics plus, like I've been saying repeatedly. Okay, so if you really are concerned about it, just go through elementary 10, 12 statistics. Rest of it, your professors will actually take you forward when you join for the course. All right, does that put you at ease? I mean, does it answer your question about wanting to have a work experience, not wanting to have work experience, or don't feel awkward about the fact that you don't have work experience? Develop your skills in the next 2 years there, and the companies will come pick you. And IIT Kanpur offers one of the strongest brands in the country, not just in the country, internationally as well. Okay, so you have the platform. So I think you guys just have to relax. Life is going to be good. Enjoy the next 2 years, and you will come out on tops.
Hey everyone, my question, I have worked as a data analyst for the past 2 years, and actually I don't want to go in analytics back. Means I want a role in product management or general management or something like that. So how should I be pursuing MBA at, and what else should I learn so that I could change my field?
Stop running from analytics, first of all. You would never be able to run away from it. This is the future. This is happening, right? Rather, can you please mute? Okay. rather leverage your experience of analytics and your knowledge of analytics in product management. When you're, I mean, I can only answer from what I've learned working with some product managers, that if you want to learn product management and if you want to be a, take up a role as a product manager in the next few years of your career, of your professional journey, the first thing is start looking at products like a product manager. So for example, whenever there's a product being rolled out, learn about the user UX and UI part of that product. Understand about what is good and what is not good. Understand about the tools like, Hotjar. Hotjar is a very good tool to analyze a product and analyze the UX. Then use because as a product manager, you would be required to do marketing. So you have to learn A/B testing. Now, A/B testing means analytics. How do you run those A/B testing campaigns and then analyze those campaigns? Then if you plan to release a product to a beta first, so how do you release that beta phase? How do you create those customers, random number? How do you generate a random set of users so that there is no bias? What are those biases that are involved? All of these are important answers to the questions for a product in the role of a product manager. So if you tend to run away from it, you would actually end up not being good at product management. If you want to be good at product management, leverage the experience that you have. So don't run away from it. Learn a little more, apply those tools. And again, my answer to all those questions is go for internships, remote work, part-time work, go for case studies with companies.
Thank you. Could I have just last question from me?
Actually, we are wrapping up. We're short on time.
Let's take it up. Let's take it up.
It's a very simple question. I actually got a lot of answers. I want to ask the questions, but the simple answer is that how was your life at IIT Kanpur? Like, what are the experiences you had in the past in the 2 years, and what can somebody get the best out of IIT Kanpur?
Life was amazing at IIT Kanpur, in simple words. As I think this question was the first thing to be answered. Hostel life is one of the best experiences. Then clubs, IIT Kanpur offers a wide club, a lot of wide range of clubs. If you are into music, if you are into dance, if you are into finance, if you are into case studies, if you are into consulting, whatever you like to do, join that club. That they might not be the best clubs, but that's a challenge. That's a question. You can go and make it the best clubs by your efforts. I remember when I was at IIT Kanpur, there was the finance club was being set up back then, in my second year. So I took up that role as a leader of finance discussion group and was able to grow that club to students, take it to students, create newsletters for everyone to get hands on the latest financial developments. So that is my experience. And then you can explore sports. You would be given wide range of sports, the best equipment, the best grounds, the best coaches. Go for trekking. We went for a trek to Kanchenjunga base camp. You will have opportunities to join the trekking club. So it will be great fun. Believe me, you will love it, and everyone would be able to share it more about them.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Adding on to this point, don't just restrict yourself to IME department. IIT Kanpur is huge. Just explore it, and you can take up roles across curriculums or across extracurricular activities, like with the engineering students as well. They are very supportive. Like in our times, they were really supportive, and I think still they are. So just try to participate in as much as activities as you can, because it offers a wide range of competitions or activities or any other roles.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I was in IIT Kanpur 20 years ago, and to this day, I'm not saying this because I'm talking to you, but even otherwise, when I go around and talk to people, those 2 years or 22 months to be precise spent in Kanpur, I still remember as some of the best days of my life. So go around, enjoy the campus. Today, I understand there are 12 hostels. You have a wide variety of food and offer. You can go and enroll in any mess. You get a bicycle as soon as you join the institute, cycle around, it will improve your health. Take part in all the cultural extracurricular activities and all of that. Possible, get a girlfriend that will make your life more interesting and enjoyable 2 months to spend there. It's a vibrant campus, and yeah, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, I had a question. I wanted to ask like the specialization as we are all talking about. So like the specialization that you took, I mean, it was like solely based on the experiences at IIT Kanpur, I mean, the first 2 semesters, or it was like is dependent on the previous work experience also? Means you took everything into consideration, or like only the first semesters?
There is a philosophical answer to this, that every day, every present day is a result of your the entire life that you have spent. So no, it was not just based on the 2 years of MBA. It was based on my previous work experience, the work that I not only work experience, but actually the learnings that I had. All of that shaped what I'm doing today. So yeah, short answer, you will definitely take that into consideration, what you have already learned.
Yeah, thank you, Rishi. Thank you all.
All right, with this, we'd like to wrap up the session, and we have come to the end of the session. And as we bid farewell for now, I would wholeheartedly like to thank all of our speakers for sparing their valuable time and giving us the opportunity to reconnect, share experiences, and foster meaningful conversations. I would also like to
Ayushi,
extend my gratitude.
Ayushi,
sure,
sorry,
sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Sure,
There's
sir.
one thing that I couldn't mention earlier, and
Mhm.
this is my learning. And believe me, guys, a lot of people did mention this to me when I was in college. I didn't listen to them. I made a mistake. You don't make that mistake. Go for as much as networking as you can. Attend events, attend conferences, talk to alumni, tell them that you're an IIT Kanpur student. Everyone is very open. Talk to them. Just schedule a 20-minute call with them. Understand about what are they working on. Take as many lessons. Meet them. Go to these to Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, wherever there are events happening in your respective domains. Build a network, because that is the IP that is going to take you a very long way. I have realized that 9 pointers doesn't make a difference. 9 good people in your network would make an absolute great difference to you. And this is for even the second years who are taking this session. You still have a year to go. Build a good network. Talk to as many people as you can. That is the IP. Yeah, Ayushi, please go ahead.
Adding one more point here. So there is a concept of capstone project. I think the seniors can understand what I'm saying right now. So please take it very seriously. I used to think that it's just a project, just a thesis to end our MBA. But it is not like that. What I have learned is that what the concept that I applied in my capstone project, there is a live project that I'm doing with my client right now since last 6 months. So that learning is coming very handy to me right now. At that time, I was not realizing that. But then please take your capstone projects very seriously. This is especially for the seniors.
All right, thanks a lot, ma'am. Just a little request from all the participants. Please switch on your cams for a minute. We'll just take a screenshot of the meeting to be posted on our social media. Please switch on your cams, everyone. Soham, if you could please put the screen in the other mode, we'll take a screenshot.
Yeah, we are done. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'll just formally wrap up the session. As we bid farewell for now, I would wholeheartedly like to thank all of our speakers for sparing the valuable time on this weekend and giving us the opportunity to reconnect, share experiences, and foster meaningful interactions. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the attendees for their active participation and engagement. Together, we have made this event a resounding success. So until we meet again, may you all continue to excel and make a difference in your respective fields. On this note, we, on behalf of MBA at IIT Kanpur, would now like to formally conclude the session. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful day ahead.